Good afternoon and welcome to Bull Markets Talk Show. This is your host Rian Robson. Starting about a few seconds earlier. It's just that we need to do the unemployment rate today and also the rand that is actually moving in a good direction. And you think that, oh yeah, the rand looks good and now everything looks actually quite positive for South Africa. But if you look at the deeper details, especially the unemployment rate of South Africa, then you're sitting with severe problems with the economy. For example, if you look at the youth unemployment, which they actually pushed out, it's about 74%. You have also they did not include actually people that are in universities that are also in the youth. Normally, your vast majority of people are actually based on your youth in between 16 and also between 36. So they did not include that. And for me, what is actually damning about this is that we had one day of this number coming out of the unemployment rate that read records, which is 32.6% at 7.2 million people. So you just had one day of this news, and then it's gone. There's nothing else that is being talking about the unemployment rate, and which is actually quite damaging. Excuse me. Nobody's talking about anywhere further. It looks like it's coming normal to have this high unemployment rate. Nobody's actually having protest action or something against the president or the ANC. Nothing is actually happening. You had one day the figure was released. People like, oh, the numbers is 74% for unemployment on the youth. You had 32.6% on the general unemployment rate, which is calculated as a restrict version of unemployment rate, in which I will unpack for you that. So you just had that figures, and one day of talking about it, of not even a one day, the media was just talking maybe a few hours about it. We were going on social media about it, but it didn't even trend. It maybe trended for about a few hours, and that was it. It looks like it became the norm. And it is actually quite shocking what is actually going on. And if you look also now with the Dr. Fauci story about the coronavirus and the mask wearing, and also Facebook, that is part of this whole plot to keeping the media silent regarding this news of COVID. The media is actually talking nothing about it, absolutely nothing. And that is for me actually a worrying part, because everything can be brushed down. I will not be surprised if I get blocked again for talking about this. But it looks like for me the president of South Africa is busy with some PR stunt that is not damaging for his image, because nothing bad is being talking about the president. It's all to do with state capture, the former president Jacob Zuma, and that's it. The guys that steals the money, and the president comes out and talk about, oh, he's shocked and all of those things. That's it. That's it. But from the president's side, to criticize him that he's a terrible president and all of those things you don't hear at all. Nothing. The unemployment rate under his reign is actually on the highest ever, which is on 32.6%. But have the guy's plan? No, he doesn't. He doesn't have anything. And the only thing is that he's talking about is stimulating the economy. How many times did this guy stimulate the economy? But nothing works. We had 500 billion that was spent last year on the economy to improve it. Absolutely nothing happened. Besides that, we had more stimulus packages when South Africa had a few recessions under his reign. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. The unemployment rate just get worse. The GDP of South Africa just get worse. And there's nothing, no investments that come in. He comes out with pledges, seminars, and all that bunch of garbage that the president is actually doing. Absolutely nothing is happening. To be honest with you, he is the worst president that South Africa ever had. Look, I'm not making Jacob Zuma an angel or anything like that. But the thing is, Zuma's figures looks now far better than this guy. And he's not being criticized for being stupid. He doesn't have a clue of what he's doing. Nobody's talking anything. And the sad part is, What the problem with South Africa is that they're still voting. Now we had these ward elections that goes on for councillors. People are still voting in the ANC. I don't know if people are drunk, high, or what the hell is wrong with South Africa for voting this. Nowhere in the world, nowhere, absolutely nowhere, that a country experience an average of 25% unemployment. Nowhere. Not in the United States, not even in Greece. In Greece, it reached 25%. It's now currently sitting at about 17%. In the United States, in the Great Depression, it was reaching 25%. They brought it down. It was there for maybe a few months. They brought it down. In Greece, the same story. It was there for a year or less than that. They brought it down. In South Africa, this has been consistently the norm since 1994 until today. South Africans are the ones who are suffering, but they just keep on going with this nonsense over and over again. It's absurd. It looks like South Africa is enjoying the poverty side because nobody's doing anything about it. Only thing that we see, a truck get burned. That has nothing to do with the high unemployment rate, but they burn the trucks. Now, to unpack these numbers for you, we have the expand definition of unemployment, which sits at about 43%, which I always say it's far higher than what they're actually talking about. So we're sitting with a 43% with close to about 11.2 million people that are unemployed. That is on an expand definition. Now, the thing is, there is a lot of different angles that you can look at this number. Now, the media, they only classify this number at 7.2 million to 32.6 million people that are unemployed. And then they will just brush off the 43% that are unemployed, which is 11 million people. Now, that is the expand definition. Now, the thing is with the expand definition, they don't calculate people that are housewives, people that are vendors, the hustlers, the guy that wakes up in the morning, he doesn't even know where he will get his money from. He goes out, he sells something, or he sells potatoes on the street, chips, or whatever the case would be. They don't calculate those people's in. They don't even calculate, as I said, students. So obviously students is out of that number. Housewives, the hustlers, the guy that just say, listen, he's waking up, he's going to do something, small business owner, or as we call it, the hustler. They don't calculate that in at all. Now, if you add those people in who had no option but to go and sell something, if you calculate all of that in, that is an additional 3 million people that we are looking at there. So if you look at that overall number, we're sitting at close to about 15 million people. Now, if you go with the registrations of small businesses, you will see quite a rise of small businesses. And you can look at, for example, at the last time that jobs was created in South Africa, that was under Thabo Mbeki. Since then, nothing happens. It went up, it was sitting still, and now it's just going further up. So if you calculate all those small businesses that were there, and you put it in, then you can check there the amount of small businesses that was registered. It close to about, you will get about maybe 1.5 million of just small businesses that are registered. If you look at who is successful, very little. Because if you can calculate from that, 80% or 90% of businesses in South Africa fail automatically in the first year. Because obviously it will fail because the size of the economy is smaller. So the unemployment number is far worse than what we think it is. The 74% of youth unemployment, they didn't, as I said, they didn't calculate the students in there. They didn't calculate the people, mostly your young people, that goes out. Look, they don't even calculate people that are on drugs. They just see you as you're gonna bloody die anyway. Why the hell when we need to actually calculate you? These are human beings. Whether they are drug addicts or anything, they are human beings. But what do they care? They don't give a fly shit about this country. And there's no way in hell that South Africa can last another, I don't know, 4 years or 10 years or so. It's just fucking possible. On the other side also, there's laws that comes through. This is the last part of the show. They're looking at land expropriation. I was sharing something about the land expropriation. It looked like they censor these things quite aggressively. But the land expropriation, they're going on the explicit number. And when I talk about the explicit number or the explicit definition of it, they're going to expropriate all assets, which means it is your medical aid that they expropriate, your house, your car. They have access to all of those things. Your pension, galore, everything. Now, who tells me in his right mind he's going to buy a house in South Africa? Or who's going to buy anything, for example, in South Africa? Because the government can expropriate everything. When they talk about, they don't talk about specifically about land. We think it is about land expropriation. It's all assets that they will actually take out. So these guys can decide at any time because they are now busy with the NHI. And they want to get you into the medical age reserves so that they can expropriate that. I don't know how South Africans are actually thinking about this. But these guys are literally fucking up this economy bit by bit. And especially this big nose presidents that we are in now. This guy is literally ruined this economy, whatever there's left. And we go on, look, nothing is actually happening. And then you still have people that are defending this guy. We have people that defend Jacob Zuma and we think they are nuts. Defending this piece of shit is actually worse. Because we're going absolutely nowhere. If that land expropriation bill goes through, you are totally screwed. Those of you who have your pension funds and all of those things, you can literally kiss that goodbye. Because we all know the ANC will literally lick off their lips to ruin your life. It's just amazing how the media and people believe in the media. And that's why they can't actually push forward. Because they just believe everything that is fucking said on the TV and they just go with it. You can't be actually enjoying Youth Month, which is this month, with such high figures. You can't actually go and obviously they will play the 16th of June story, and then the Twitter trolls will go about that story in Serafina, and then, oh, apartheid. Look, that fucking story of apartheid is really fucking getting on my nerves. Apartheid, white people will be white people. There's fuck all you can do about that. And it's sad enough that out of all this unemployment number, white people have the lowest numbers at 10%. Black people have 50%. Colored people have about 40% of the unemployment figures. So you can complain about white people and white people. White people don't give a fly shit. It's you that are the ones to be part of government and wants to play the race game, who wants to fucking always throw apartheid in this whole fucking story. You getting fucked every time. You're paying taxes for absolutely fuck all. We scream and whatever we do, but it's people not using their fucking brains. Brains and emotions is two fucking different things. Emotions, and brains is brains. So you need to use a brain at some stage to think that we're going absolutely nowhere. I don't know how you can, people fucking push those two together and think that they are human beings. Look, your brain is one thing. Your heart pumps blood. Your brain is there to think. Your emotions is just fucking you up every day. So you need to actually distinguish between the two and use your fucking brain and check this data that we are getting screwed. I don't know, honestly, when will this story change? And if you look at also now with the DA, with a shit story, what they're actually talking about now about Pride Month and oh, Jesus, then you just, oh, fuck, there we go again. Look, honestly, I think South Africa would be better without any government, honestly. I think we would do much better on ourselves. Not with any government, because the only people that fuck up this country is a government. That's all from my side. I hope you guys wake up one day and see that these guys are literally screwing you over and over again, especially when it comes to BEE laws, which also irritates me because I'm busy with a project and now everything is standing still because of this fucking project, because of BE specifically. Because I was said in my face, that I'm not African. Can you fucking believe that? You need to get 30% African. So I asked them, what is wrong with me? I'm not African. You are black, yes, but you are not African. So out of my own project, I needed to get some black investors to invest into my project. Not black, actually, African investors to invest in my project. If I didn't get that, then I'm fucked. So those things are holding South Africa back. Business could have been far better off today, but they're more worried about who is fucking who. That is it from my side, South Africa and the rest of the world. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Anyway, I will talk about NFP tomorrow. Lovely day. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.